you might be one 2x2 grid away from making the clearest decision about what step to take next in your insurance sales career. Ever since I came across Kim Scott's Radical Candor 2x2 grid, which by the way, you should go look up when you have a moment, I have come to love the 2x2 grid for the benefit of clear thinking and really good decision making. And so often I work with producers, agents, brokers who feel stuck in their careers and they don't know what the next move is. They feel like they're doing everything right, but not getting the outcome that they want. They feel like they are in a slump. They feel like they're too distracted. There are too many things that they can work on and they just don't know what to do next. So I thought it'd be helpful to pull together a little 2x2 grid to help maybe a struggling producer out there know exactly what to do next to get unstuck, to get revitalized on their motivation, and to start doing the right activities again to achieve the outcomes that they want. Now, when we're building a 2x2 grid, and again, you can use this for almost any decision that you have to make in life, but when you're building a good 2x2 grid, what you want to do is label the top axis, or that vertical axis, as the thing that you want at the top and the thing that you don't want on the bottom. So if I'm thinking about producers who are struggling to know what is the next step to take in their insurance sales career, I'm going to put the word achieve at the top, and I'm going to put fall short at the bottom. So just so we're crystal clear on what we mean by that, let's say achieve is you're hitting it out of the park. You are making sales every single day. You're loving every single day of work. You feel totally in control of your career. You feel totally in control of your income and your impact, and you are making what we like to call beautiful money. That's at the top here. Let's say the opposite of that is falling short. So you've got goals, or maybe you don't. You just feel like you're maybe meandering a little bit. You're not making any real progress. Every day is the same. Every day is a blur. Weeks go by. You don't feel like you've accomplished anything of real substance. You're busy all the time. You're exhausted, but you're not seeing progress. Now, if that is the thing that you want, achievement, and the thing that you don't want, falling short on the bottom, the left and the right is on the left side, it's going to be the wrong way to go about things. And on the right side, it's the right way to go about things. So on the left side, I might put gripe. You might be a griper, or somebody you know in the insurance sales business might be a griper. They're a complainer. They make excuses. They drag their heels. They're not having fun at work. They're not trying to do right by their clients. They're just punching in, punching out, not motivated. That is a griper. On the right side of this axis, you might have somebody who's glowing. You have somebody who's got the Midas touch. You've got somebody who's got such a great attitude. They come in every single day just trying to do right by their clients, trying to be a little better today than they were yesterday, even when underwriters kick them when they're down, even when prospects do goofy things, even when things out of their control are happening to them, they still look for the silver lining. Maybe not all the time, but more often than not, they're trying to at least bounce back. At the very least, they're not spiraling. They're not wallowing in their misery. So that's our gripe to our glow axis. And what we get here are 4 quadrants. And usually these 4 quadrants, the top right quadrant is exactly where people want to be. So let's start there. If you are somebody who's a high achiever, you're making progress towards your goals every day, every week, every month. You've got periods where you feel on fire. And even when you're not on fire, you're still doing better than your peers. You're still doing better than you were last year. We'll call that our champ quadrant. You are a champion, my friend. Congratulations to you. You have the unique combination of somebody who is high achieving, and honestly, you're glowing. You're a pleasure to be around. You're coachable. You're likable. Your clients want to do business with you. They don't feel like they're forced to do business with you. You probably like what you do. Now, when I find a broker, an agent who's in this quadrant, the recommendation from here, it's to bottle that. You want to bottle up that secret sauce that you have, because the reality is you might be a champion for a quarter, for half a year, for a year, for 2 years, 3 years. You are on a streak. You have momentum, but things happen professionally, personally, in the industry. And you might find yourself off of your A game. You might not be producing at the same level or with the same kind of enthusiasm as you were before. So in a period of high achievement and good attitude, high motivation, what you want to do is bottle that sucker up and put it on a shelf so that when you feel like you're slumping, like you're not having a hot streak, like you've not got a lot of momentum behind you, you can grab that sucker off of the shelf, take off the cap, take a swig, and start to tap back into the stuff that was making you successful the first time around. So what do I mean by bottle it up? What I mean is, if you are in your hot streak now, document. Write down what you do on a daily basis in order to tap into that state, that high achievement place that you're in right now. What are you doing? And it's not necessarily about like your magic morning routine, but it is about the actions that you are taking on a daily and weekly basis, both professionally and personally, to be in this upper right quadrant. You want your champion sauce to be bottled up so that a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, if you're no longer on a hot streak, you're no longer achieving, you no longer have that Midas touch, you can reflect back to what you were doing before to get there so that you can return back to there. That is our champion quadrant. I wish that for everybody because it's a really nice place to be in when you're achieving your goals and you're doing so enthusiastically and you're loving what you're doing. On the left side, so maybe you've got achievement. You're producing, you're making sales, you're growing your book, clients like you, but you're a griper. You complain. You fight with underwriting all day, every day. You feel like a victim. You feel like you are a victim of your circumstance. Maybe you're not taking the time to mentor other producers who are new to the industry and who just recently joined your team. Maybe you're somebody who's constantly complaining about management. If you find yourself achieving, you're making sales, you're winning business, you're growing a book, but you are the one who's dragging your heels. You are the one who's kind of difficult to be around, who somebody might describe as uncoachable. That is our achieving, our griping section. I would call that a chump. And that's okay. You might be in a chump phase right now. The truth is, you might be in a chump phase right now. We all have found ourselves at one point or another in a chump phase. So if this is you, my heart goes out to you. You can pull yourself out of there. The chump phase, what is the recommendation there? So we're going to have a bit of an alliteration theme for all these things. So if you find yourself in the chump phase, what you got to do is find a way to get better. Find a way to get a better attitude. And this might be a hard look in the mirror kind of moment. It's likely that the reason you've got a chumpy attitude when you show up to your 9 to 5, when you show up to the Teams call or the Zoom call or pick up a phone call, you're in the office, it might be something personally. And look, life is hard. Sales makes it harder. Insurance sales makes it hardest. There's so many things that could happen in our personal lives that will impact how we show up to our work life. So if you are somebody who has not gone through like a personal development habit in the past, this might be your wake-up call to do just that. This might be the wake-up call to pick up meditation. This might be the wake-up call to seek counseling or to do something in your personal life so that all these reasons to complain, to feel like a victim, to feel like nothing ever goes right for you or like everybody's against you, this might be your wake-up call to confront that and find a way to do better. You need to find a way to improve your motivation, get hungry for doing a good job, get passionate for the work that you do. Now, one tool that we've used with producers in the past, if they've got maybe a motivation challenge, a desire challenge, a commitment challenge, their head's not really in the game, right? Or maybe their heart's not really in the game, is the Strategic Advisor Blueprint. That's going to be linked down below. You can definitely get your copy there. The Strategic Advisor Blueprint is a big map. It's a roadmap that tries to build a bridge between your personal life and what you want to achieve personally and your professional life, what you do for your insurance sales career, the way that you serve your clients, the products that you sell, all the things that you do when you're wearing your work hat and all the things that you want in your personal life wearing your personal hat. It builds a bridge between the two. So when we've had producers who use the Strategic Advisor Blueprint to build that bridge, they find that their motivation skyrockets. They find that they can see a true integration between how they show up at work and what they get out of their personal lives. So that is a good tool. It's free. Access it. You can click it probably somewhere below this video here. If you too find yourself in a bit of a chump phase, look, we all find ourselves there every now and then. This might be just the tool that you need to re-spark that motivation. Let's go back to our 2x2 grid. Maybe you're not a champ. Maybe you're not a chump. Maybe you're the bottom right quadrant. That's not exactly achieving at the level that I want to, but I've got an awesome attitude. I'm highly coachable. I show up every day enthusiastic. I know that every no that I hear just brings me one step closer to a yes. If you are somebody who finds themselves in that bottom right quadrant, we would call this the slump quadrant. And the reason we call it slump is because just like in sports, you might be the Michael Jordan, the LeBron James, the Wayne Gretzky, the Alex Rodriguez, the Babe Ruth of your profession of insurance sales, but even the great ones hit a slump. Even the great ones don't win a championship every year. Even the great ones have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game streaks where nothing is going their way. And typically what happens is that on a long enough time frame, these people who are normally champs who end up in a slump find their way back up to championship level by having more at-bats, meaning more attempts, more tries. And usually when you're selling insurance, typically what ends up happening is there's so many distractions, activities, things that you can be working on that isn't necessarily bring you closer to your goal that just starts to take over your priority list. It takes over your workload. Maybe there are compliance courses that you need to take for HR. Maybe there's a certification that you've been dragging your heels on and that's been occupying a lot of your bandwidth. Maybe you're just somebody who's stuck in a service trap right now and you just haven't had the at-bats, the new conversations on the sales front to feel motivated. So, or pardon me, not to feel motivated, but to see the outcome that you want, to see that sales growth, to see your book growing. So the recommendation here is to remove things from your plate right now, that is getting in the way at having more at-bats. If you're somebody who's stuck in the service trap, this might be the reason, the catalyst to find a way to delegate some of those tasks. It might mean that you're taking on more than you can chew and you have to remove something off your plate. And I can't give you the answer for you. You have to look with an honest, sober eye at what you're doing from the start of your day to the end of your day and what is getting in the way of sales, and remove everything that is not mission critical. It's painful, it hurts, I know, but it's the only way to get the right number of at-bats so you can tap right back into that streak, that momentum, that achievement level that you are used to and you are capable of. So we've now covered the champ, we've covered the chump, we've covered the slump, and now we're on to our final one, where you are falling way short of your goals, and you're also a griper. You are an excuse maker, you are blaming external factors, you are victimizing a little bit here. This might be the dump quadrant. And I want to give you some reprieve. I don't want to pile on too much here, because you might be someone who finds themselves here. You might be someone who's not exactly, well, achieving. And you might be somebody who's not exactly enthusiastic, coachable, wanting to improve. You are just clocking in and clocking out. The reality is, you might not be in the right role. And that's okay. And it's probably not even your fault. This job probably came along at a time where you desperately needed one and you thought you'd give it a try, and maybe you stuck around a little longer than you had originally intended to. If that's the case, what's left for you might be something like this. So if we've got bottle up for our championship quadrant, we've got get better for our chump quadrant, we've got more at-bats for our slump quadrant, for our dump quadrant, we're going to say bail. We are ripping the parachute one way or another. And really what this means is options. You're going to have to bail on either this job itself, this company that you're working for, or the way you're doing things today. So it's one of those three things. Maybe it's being a producer is just not for you. Maybe you're much more of a customer service kind of person. That's fine. Maybe you're much more of an underwriting kind of person or a claims kind of person. That's fine. The beautiful thing about the insurance industry is that there's a role for everybody. So you might have to bail on the job. You might have to bail on your company. Maybe your company just is not the right fit. I'm not going to sit here and say, the company you're working for is bad and you should blame them and you're doing right by blaming them. I'm not going to go that far. Maybe there's just been a misalignment between what the expectations were when you first started and what they actually are when you're at the job. Or maybe you misunderstood. That's fine. Maybe the leadership that you have just wants something from you that you know you can't deliver, but you might be able to deliver something somewhere else. Maybe the product lines are just not the ones that are best fit for you. Whatever the case is, only you can really decide that. Maybe you have to bail on the company. And again, that's fine, but you have to take an honest look at that. And the third thing to consider maybe bailing on, if it's not the job itself being a producer, the company, maybe it's just how you're approaching things right now. Maybe it's fine to finally conclude that what I'm doing today is not working. It's not serving me or my clients. It's not the right way to find my next conversation. It's not the right way to lead the sales opportunity. It's not the way to close the sales opportunity. It's not the way to show up enthusiastically, right? Or it's not the right approach, we'll call it. So it's not the right strategy. It's not the right execution. And it's not the right approach mentally, emotionally. If that's the case, you need to find a mentor. You need to find a playbook and trust the process. Now, that's something that we offer through our buying sales community, both for free and with paid cohorts. But even our free stuff is enough to get somebody who is maybe guessing too much. They're not getting the results that they want. They're starting to drag their heels. It's enough to get them approaching things in a new way with proven techniques and frameworks that have worked for so many producers in the past. So that's one thing that you could do. It doesn't even have to be from us. I don't really care if it's from the buy and sales community or not. You just need to find someone who's doing something radically different from you today, who's getting the result that you want to have, and learn from them. The more coachable you become, the better your career will be. That's whether you're in insurance sales or not. So to conclude, clear thinking can come very easily and effectively from a simple 2x2 grid. Here we have a simple model of people who are getting what they want with the right attitude versus people who are not getting what they want with the wrong attitude. And now we've come up with 4 different profiles and 4 different potential decisions that we need to make to get the stuff that we want out of our insurance sales career. If you're a champion right now, highly recommend that you document what's working so you can bottle up and take it off the shelf if you ever find yourself in a slump. If you're a chump right now, it's time to better your motivation, your desire, your commitment, your outlook by using a tool similar to the Strategic Advisor Blueprint. By the way, link below to get it yourself, in order to see an integration between your personal life and your work life and how those two things go hand in hand. If you find that you're in a slump right now, meaning you're not getting the result that you want, but you still got a good attitude, you're still motivated, you're still hungry, you still got good level of outlook and commitment, then you just need more at-bats, which means you need to remove some of the distractions on your plate right now. And if you find yourself in that bottom left quadrant, this dump quadrant here, which means that you've got a bad attitude and you're not getting the outcomes, the results that you want, you need to bail. You need to bail either on the job of being a producer, you need to bail on the company that you're working for, or you need to bail on the strategy that you've been using to this point, because one of those three things is not working. I hope you've enjoyed the video. We've got resources linked below here. Join the Buy and Sales community. If you're not already in it, what are you doing? Tons of free resources that you can use. And I cannot wait to see you in the next video.